Beautiful people, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Conversations Unleashed, Rising Together. It is Michael Bonner here. If you listen to my voice right now, we have the visual experience now. Back to the podcast. If you go to YouTube and type in Bonneville, you'll be able to watch this episode, which is episode 22. Listen, we're on point. Not only are we on point, y'all, I found out some of my students listen to this episode. So to the Elliott family, shout out to Callie, shout out to Justin Elliott. Hey, I love you two so much. Thank you for being great students in my class. Y'all, today we are welcoming fourth graders from the new class of 2029 to RCA. So this podcast will not be long. You know, this is your weekly 10-minute power up. But on today, I want to talk about something fun. I want to get into something spicy, right? This is your midweek pickup. And today's title, I almost said today's title. Today's title is Put Up or Shut Up. Let's get into it. So, y'all, the reason why I'm creating this episode is because before I am a international speaker, before I am an author, right, I am a teacher. You know, this is what I do. You're looking inside of my classroom right now. It's the vortex of innovation, baby. We love it out here. But one of the things I want you to understand is that with being an educator, I work at a phenomenal school. And at this school, you must put up or shut up. If we look at the stadium seats behind me, people get to come in and they watch us teach, right? We're known for being great teachers. And quarter four is a very fascinating quarter. Whether you're a business owner, whether you are a CEO, whether you are a banker, finance, lawyers, we all know that there are certain quarters that carry more pressure. And quarter four in the education system, it is crunch time because it shows what have you been doing all this time they've been in school, and now it's time to prove it. So as a sixth grade ELA teacher, I want to make sure that my kids are sent off the right way. In fourth and fifth grade, they had Mr. Corey Collins, who's a dynamic reading teacher, known as one of the best reading teachers in the world. And in seventh grade, they'll have my mentor, Pamela Haskins. Y'all, Pamela Haskins writes curriculum for Google and works with Hollywood movies to design learning materials with them, right? I don't want to be the weak link. Ask yourself, are you the weak link in your company? Is your company a weak link in its sector? You don't ever want to be the weak link, which is why this episode is called Put Up and Shut Up. Put Up or Shut Up, excuse me. So with this, what I want you to know is I'm going to tell you about 4 things I start to do today that I tighten up in the fourth quarter to prepare my students to operate at the optimum level, right? So let's start with the first one. And what do we do today on this beautiful Wednesday in April the 10th, y'all? We created SMART goals. Yes, we did. We created SMART goals, and I'm going to tell you why we created SMART goals. I wanted them to create SMART goals of where they're going to see themselves at the end of this year when it comes to their reading data. And I think it's important. They created a SMART goal, they had to sign it, and their parents had to sign it. Because we're in this culture where people think, well, just because you're performing well, that's enough. You can perform well, but are you making any growth or doing what you're supposed to do? Right? In the education system, we have high flyers, people that are high achievers. They do great, but what's the point of doing great and scoring high if they never grow throughout the school year? It's sort of the same concept inside of the business world, this fascinating concept for people that make 6 figures. Well, yeah, they make 6 figures, but they live paycheck to paycheck when you look at the data. Right? So I think it's important to establish SMART goals. They did that. That's for homework tonight. And my kids that's listening to this episode, you better turn it in. Number 2, everyone. Number 2 is you need to focus on the main things. And one of the main components of reading, everyone, is vocabulary instruction. Vocabulary instruction is a very powerful concept because it allows kids to increase their ability to comprehend what the text and stuff is about. So I know Mr. Bernardin used to say that back in the day, him and his friends used to find really big words and they would start using those words in everyday conversation to try to throw people off, right? Just like, how do they know those big words? When it comes to vocabulary, whether you're a parent, teacher, student, or even a leader, those terminologies or those terms are extremely important, right? So the more they practice with them, the more they do things with them, they're going to grow. So my class want to make sure we start creating more skits with them. They're going to create commercials with the vocabulary words. Want to make sure they have the gestures with the vocabulary words and use them in everyday conversation, right? We talked about vocab. We talked about SMART goals. Let's go to the third one. This is important. Do people have enough time to practice the skill they need to do? So for me, we use iReady here. I want to make sure that they have a plethora of times to practice the skills that I'm teaching them. Right now, I'm teaching them tone and mood, right? And the unique thing about tone and mood is they can be a little conflicting if you don't understand the difference between the two. So if I just teach it, great. But if I don't give them an adequate amount of time to practice both, be able to distinguish between what is tone and what is mood, I'm setting myself up for failure. So I want to make sure they have a numerous amount of times in my class, outside of the class, but also different programs. So if you're a parent and you're looking for extra programs that you need to use, Common Lit. I highly suggest that Common Lit. All right. Let's go to this last one, number 4. And I think this is critical. Point number 4 is this. I need you to understand the value of independent reading. I have found out kids don't hate reading, everyone. They hate what we give them to read consistently. We constantly force them to read things and they don't care about it. So of course they're going to hate reading. Of course they are, right? So what do I do in my class? I try to make sure I carve out 10 to 20 minutes every day, but I'm pushing it for 20 minutes now because my kids are diving deep into books they care about. But also I'm having a huge selection of things that they can pull from that they can read, but also everyone, choice. So when I'm teaching a new themed lesson or anything like that, any new unit, I find 10 stories I'm going to teach that skill from, and I allow them to vote on it as a class. They go research the book, find a synopsis, and they figure out what they want to do. And then ultimately from there, they pick in chronological order, what do they want to read? And it makes learning so fun. If you saw me pause, there's clearly a train going on behind me, but we want to keep pushing through. So what I want you to know, those 4 things are going to be monumental for this piece and for this fourth quarter to end well in my 6th grade reading class. I'm keeping them accountable with SMART goals. We're going to increase our vocabulary instruction along with things in context with their vocab. That's why I have the research studies right here from Dr. V, who's phenomenal dean of staff here. I want to make sure I give them a numerous amount of times to practice the skills I'm teaching them. But last but not least, in the fourth quarter, everyone, I want to make sure they focus on independent reading. Now, I want to make sure I say this because my time is running out and I want to be clear on this. I named this episode Put Up or Shut Up because we have this culture. Y'all know I got to get ready for this one. We have this culture that people feel emboldened to say whatever they want to say. That people feel like just because you have a social media profile that you can say what you want to say. And what has happened is we created this environment where people are so comfortable with talking trash about other people. They are so comfortable being negative towards other people and they don't even have the results themselves. I see so many people talk trash about LeBron James. You can't even score 5 points at your local church league, but you talking trash about LeBron James. You just called Tyler Perry's movie trash that he just released on Netflix. You can't even produce an Instagram reel to go viral, but his movie is trash. Now, am I saying greatness has to be absent from criticism? No. What I am saying though is if you choose to open your mouth about other people, you got to be willing to put up the results as well. That's what I used to love about playing basketball in college and in high school, right? You can talk trash all you want to, but at some point, somebody's going to roll the ball to you and say, hey, check up. So on today, in this fourth quarter, it's crunch time for me in the education sector. It's quarter 2 for me in my business. But quarter 4 in education is the real deal. It's game time, right? It is crunch time. And what I want to encourage you on today, when it is crunch time, you must tighten up, right? You can be winning in the first quarter, the second quarter, and the third quarter. But if you blow the fourth quarter, it's a terrible thing. So to make sure that you don't blow the fourth quarter, I want you to ask yourself, what results do I have? Who do I have around me that cries more than they put up results? Who is in my life that is constantly talking about problems but never offer a solution? That's how you know you're dealing with the wrong person, because they have a problem for every solution. You must begin to ask yourself in this critical time, what am I doing? What systems do I have in place? And more importantly, what kind of results am I trying to put up and what kind of results am I currently putting up? And if you can evaluate and ask yourself those questions and answer them truthfully, that's where growth can happen. I'm in this season of answering those questions myself, being honest with myself. And it is not an easy conversation, but it is definitely worth it, because at the end of the day, the only person you have to worry about beating, as I told my students earlier today on this Wednesday, I told them the only person you have to worry about beating is you. I don't care about what John, Sally, Bonquisha, or anybody else doing. You just have to make sure that you are beating you. And I gave you the steps to do that. Don't forget, everyone, this is the time to either put up or shut up. I love you. Pass this episode on to someone that you think needs to hear it. But more importantly, play it back, give me a rating on Apple, Spotify, and know that I appreciate you. And never forget the most important thing, legacy over likes. Take care. And we're done. Yeah. I cannot believe a train came on during my John Brown podcast episode. But you know what? We're here. We're here, right? Y'all, we're figuring it out. I wish y'all could see the day because this podcast is over now. Only the video outtake people. Y'all get to catch this. Y'all, I wish you can see how I got this classroom set up right now. I have my camera. My camera wasn't working. My camera got stolen. Y'all know that. But then it's just a lot going on. I'm filming on my iPhone right now. But this is a lesson to you. You better make sure you make it work. Don't let anything hold you back because you don't know who you're preventing from reaching their breakthrough if you don't keep pushing. All right, get up out of here. Go get some work done. Put up or shut up. Peace.